This is the brand new Insta360 Go Ultra. It's packing a whole bunch of upgrades over last year's Go 3S, including a sensor that's now over twice the size, but a bigger sensor means a bigger camera and a heavier camera. So as cyclists, are the upgrades worth the extra weight? Let's find out. So if you've been living under a rock, let me quickly explain Insta360's range of cameras. You've basically got three main series. You've got the X series, like the most modern X5, which is their 360-degree cameras that capture everything when they're filming and then you reframe it in post. You've got the Ace cameras, which are like the super high-end, more GoPro style cameras, really high-end, cinematic quality, all that stuff. And then you have the Go series, which has always been their small, little, pocket-sized, ultra-tiny cameras. And these days, they come in two pods with the action pod and the camera itself. So you can either put just the camera on and get better shots, but you got no screen, or put it in the pod to get all the good stuff. So this was last year's, the Go 3S, and now here with this year's, not the Go 4, the Go Ultra. Okay, let's quickly the headline stats on this thing. We can now do 4K 60 resolution, so 4K resolution at 60 frames per second. Sensor size is now a 1/1.28 inch sensor, so almost a 1 inch sensor in something this small. We're getting pretty crazy. We've got a 5 nanometer AI chip in here to do all the processing of night mode and HDR mode and all that stuff. There's an ambient light sensor now. This helps the camera kind of learn more about the environment and helps keep the white balance better. I've been noticing that the white balance kind of jumps around a lot less on this than it used to on the old ones. Battery life, we've got 70 minutes for the camera alone, or 180 minutes when it's in the action pod. That should be enough for any of your crits or any of your races. And it has fast charge now, so it can charge 80% battery in just 12 minutes. That's pretty crazy. If you go in between races or between the Cat 5 race and the Cat 4 race, just a 12-minute charge and you can get 80% back in it. So headline stats are looking good. Let's look a bit deeper. So now when you're holding the two cameras in your hands, in the action pods, they're about the same size, but once you take them out of the action pods, the new camera is definitely noticeably bigger. So now as it's getting bigger, you're starting to blur the line between the Go series and the Ace series. And especially now because the image quality is getting better too. Like I said, this new sensor is 200% bigger than the old one. So you're starting to blur the line because this is getting bigger and it's getting better quality. So it's kind of stepping on toes of the Ace. If you're being optimistic, you'll say it's a small Ace Pro. But if you're being pessimistic, you might just say it's a Go that's got bigger. So let's see which one is true. Is the new image quality all it's cracked up to be? Now, usually in my Insta360 reviews, I usually go a bit too nerdy and a bit too into the weeds, and I think lots of people get a bit lost. So in this review, I'm going to try to keep things a bit simple and just go for 5 things I like about the new Go Ultra and 2 things I don't like about the new Go Ultra. So let's jump straight in with the one thing I like, and that is the image quality. Yeah, the bigger sensor in here and some new AI chips and the better processing has really stepped up the image quality now. For cyclists, if you're cycling in the middle of the day, turn on the HDR mode and the image quality is super nice. So if you look at this B-roll of me going through the trees on the middle of a day, it's super sunny, you'll see the dynamic range is controlled super well. You can see the sky perfectly, the sky's not blown out, my white helmet not overexposed, but you can still see the detail in the shadows under the tree, and they do it all without it looking super processed. Like lots of HDR cameras or HDR photos are like really over processed and a bit weird. I think this still looks nice and natural, all the colors look popping, but you've got this crazy, crazy dynamic range. And that's all being done by the camera, in camera, with the processing and the HDR mode. So I definitely love that. So that bigger chip in there, bigger processing power, is also giving us double the frame rate now. So we can now do 4K 60. I think the old one only did 4K 30, so that's double the frame rate we've got now. Also, because of that bigger sensor, we can now have 2 times zoom. So you can zoom in up to 2 times and you don't lose any of the resolution. It still puts out a 4K image. Also, that big new sensor now is letting us do 50 megapixel photos. So I don't take too many photos on my action cameras, but if you do take photos on there, they're going to be 50 megapixels now, so loads of detail you can crop in after the fact, all that stuff. But the best thing maybe about this bigger sensor and the AI chip in there is that the nighttime quality is now a lot better than before as well. So they have the same pure video that started in the Ace Pro 1, I think, and also went over to the X5. This now has pure video too. Pure video is basically for low light performance. It uses the AI to do noise cancellation and all sorts of other image processing, but the end result is that this thing in the night, in the dark now, can keep up with any other action camera out there, including its big brother, the Ace Pro. So super impressive to see that out of such a small camera. Now, the second thing I love about the camera is the sound quality. So usually sound quality on action cameras is trash. You know, you just put the B-roll in there, but then you delete the audio and just put some music on there because all the audio is just wind noise. This thing, out of the box, the standard settings, no noise reduction on or anything like that. This thing you can do like 30, 40, 50 Ks an hour and there's no wind noise. Listen, let me drop in a clip now that you guys can listen to.
It feels flat in Gran Turismo.
What's this in Gran Turismo?
You bridging that, bro? Danny Yogan. Say let's get photos.
So yeah, absolutely crazy. That was recorded with just this on the front of the bike, no other microphones, nothing else, and you can hear everything that's going on. You can hear the chain, you can hear gear changes, you can hear people talking, and there's no wind noise. That is absolutely crazy. Even a few years ago, we were nowhere near that, and again, to do it on something so small, super impressive. So yeah, but if the sound quality for some reason isn't enough, you can connect this to a whole bunch of mics out there. It connects to the DJI Mic Mini, the DJI Mic 2, it connects to AirPods 4, Insta360 may or may not have some mics coming or not coming that it connects to. I didn't say anything. Yeah, super cool. In my opinion, now the mic's so good that you don't actually need to do that, but if you do have the requirement, like the camera's far away from you or whatever, then you can connect to microphones now, so that is really cool. Now, the third thing I love about the Go Ultra is we are now on SD cards. So now we have micro SD cards in there, and for me, I prefer that a lot. With the old ones, to get the footage to your computer, you have to plug in the USB lead, but for me personally, I just love having SD cards. I have a little SD card reader on my desk. I take the SD card out, throw it in, and it downloads the footage super fast. Never have to worry about the storage getting full because you can have a whole bunch of SD cards in your bag, in your pocket, because they're tiny, obviously. So yeah, personally, I prefer this. Also, I think it's a good thing because previously on the Go series, if you wanted a 64 gig version, it was one price. If you wanted a 128 gig version, it was more expensive, etc., etc. Now they're saying, you know, you guys just buy an SD card. You can choose the storage you want. I think it's cool that Insta360 are letting you use SD cards and not nickel and diming you to make you pay more money for storage, which doesn't really cost that much these days. So SD cards now, no inbuilt storage. Maybe some people won't like it because some people prefer the simplicity of inbuilt storage mainly, but for me personally, I'm all about the removable storage. So for me, that's one thing I love. The fourth thing I love about the Go Ultra, but now it kind of applies to all of Insta360 cameras, is their stats dashboard. So obviously you have cool footage on your bike, and then you want people to know how many watts you're doing, you want to know people how far you'd ridden, what the temperature was, what the gradient was. You know, in the video footage, the gradient never looks that steep. So now we can do the on-screen stats and people can see how steep it was. But one thing Insta360 do is just make it super simple to do the whole thing. Previously, they were working with Garmin, so if you had a Garmin head unit, you could go back after the fact and just choose the ride that it was, and it would do all that on itself. They still have that Garmin connectivity, but now they have a whole bunch of more connectivity as well. So it can connect with your Apple Watch, you can use the app to record your ride, but the best one now is they actually connect with Strava. So all of us, all of our devices all sync to Strava in some way, shape or form, whether it's your watch, your phone, your GPS on your bike. As long as that ride is on Strava, Insta360 will be able to find it. So it just looks at the time of the ride and it goes in your Strava and looks for what ride you're doing at that time, finds the file and puts the stats on there. Super cool, super convenient, and obviously Strava are the big player in the game, so to have Strava on board, absolutely awesome. So yeah, the stats dashboard, tick, one of my favorite features. The fifth and final thing I love about the Go Ultra is the accessories. So Insta360 now have a huge range of accessories, and they're very good at making them all cross-compatible with all the devices. You know, you've got the remotes, you've got microphones, you've got mounts, and they all work together backwards and forwards really happy, and you can find a way to mount this almost everywhere. Because obviously with the camera so small, most of the fun is seeing all the different ways you can mount it. Now obviously chest mount will be super easy, helmet mount, bike mounts, all that stuff. But there is one thing about the mounting that I don't like, so this will lead us into the first thing I don't like about this camera is we have yet another new mount because now the camera is a new shape, so all of your previous Go 3S or Go 2 things will no longer work because the camera's got physically bigger. The camera's got bigger, so the camera mounts won't work, but also the spacing of the mount on the bottom for the action pod has also now changed. So all of your clamps from before can no longer work. You gotta get new clamps and stuff, so I'm not hugely a fan of that. I wish they kept the mounts the same. You know, at this point now, there are so many different mounts out there and you've just got a bunch of accessories for the old camera and then you buy the new camera and they don't all work anymore. It's not the best situation in the world. And it's made worse by the fact that when you buy this, if you just buy the standard box, out of the box there is no way to connect this to a traditional GoPro style mount. You know, every kind of mount you have out there, like chest straps, helmet mounts, or like under your GPS mounts, they're usually the little 2-3 prong GoPro mount things. Out of the box, there's no way to connect this to one of those. I think that's a bit of a faux pas. Now, it was the same with the old one, and you can buy a magnetic rail that clips onto here and it converts it to a GoPro style mount, but it would be nice if that was in the box. As it is now, you're kind of left using the other mount that it comes with that have to take the camera out of the pod and then put this in it and then it can go on the GoPro mount. So I just wish that out of the box there was a way to put this on a GoPro style mount. So yeah, I do see Insta360 have a bunch of bundles with this. I think one of this is called the cycling bundle, which comes with a whole bunch of accessories that let you mount it in different places. But yeah, just make sure you're looking through and that you have something that's going to let you mount this how you want to mount it. And the second thing that I'm not a huge fan of is just the increase in size, I guess. Yeah, so the Go 3S or the Go series previously was always super, super, super tiny, and to see it slowly getting bigger and bigger and bigger over time. By the time we get to the Go 8, it's going to be bigger than a GoPro, I guess. But it's not too crazy. So as you see it here, the Go 3S, this was 39 grams, and now the Go Ultra is 53 grams. So you've gotten a bit bigger, you've gotten a bit heavier. It's not miles difference, you know, you can't really notice because it's already so light, but I do hope in the future it doesn't keep getting bigger and bigger and they're able to keep it fairly small, because as weight weenies, as cyclists, we prefer the smaller stuff. So yeah, that was 5 things I love about the camera and 2 things I'm not so thrilled about the camera. As for pricing and availability, as you're watching this video, this is now available, this is now dropped. Let me refer to my notes. The US price for the standard bundle is $449.99, so $450 US, and the UK price is £389, like £390 near as makes a difference. It is a bit more expensive than the Go 3S was, but obviously Go 3S was before tariffs and all that malarkey. And now you're not getting any built-in storage as well. So when you think about the price, you have to factor in the cost of an SD card as well. Obviously, SD cards are cheap as chips now, but you know, it is something you still have to think about. But with all the features they've added to it, you know, that bigger sensor, that new AI chip and all that stuff, you are getting more for your money now. So yeah, it's you guys to decide whether it's worth it. But yeah, $450 US for the standard bundle. And like I say, there's a bunch of different bundles I've got, which include different mounts and accessories. As always, there's a link in the description, which is a referral link. So if you guys do buy it, I get a bit of commission. That helps keep the channel running and help these videos coming to you. So yeah, if you are interested, link in the description below. But you guys tell me what you think. Do you think the new increase in size is a deal breaker, or am I just being a little weight weenie wimp and crying about nothing, an extra 13 grams or whatever it is? Personally, I'm loving the quality that comes out of this. I do think it is now really up there with the Ace Pro. That means it's difficult now what they're going to do with the Ace Pro, like how they're going to make that better. I think this can do 99% of what the Ace Pro can do now, so I see this getting used more and my Ace Pro 2 getting used less. But we shall see how it fares in the coming months. And yeah, you're going to see a lot of footage from this little thing on the channel in the coming weeks and months. But yeah. Any comments on the video, let me know in the comments down below, and I'll see you next time. China cycling out.